Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. Welcome back to the MOVIEVERSE podcast. And we have finally arrived at our last film for Best Picture of 2016. I'm not sure when this will make it up, probably the day of the Oscars, but hey, it's all good. And of course we might do Mad Max, just because we did that. We did review it, but that's all the way in the past. But hey, we're doing Bridge of Spies today, inspired by true events, of course. And of course, spoiler alert, if you're new to what we do here, we do plot and all that fun stuff. My name is the Habitual Pixel, Big Nasty Productions. Let's talk some Bridge of Spies. Pleasantly surprised with this one after a second and third viewing. You want to give a synopsis if you can break it down?
Okay, well, Tom Hanks' character, James Donovan, he is enlisted by the government to basically act as almost a patsy lawyer type thing, just to kind of make it seem like they're giving a fair shake to the Soviet spy that was captured, who's played by Mark Rylance, the character of Rudolph Abel. So they basically do their trial, and he actually tries to defend him, but to no avail. So when he's sentenced, Tom Hanks actually is able to talk the I believe it's the attorney that's prosecuting the case. I don't remember if it's him or the judge, but either way, Tom Hanks is able to convince the government to keep him alive, so that in case the Soviets were to capture one of the U.S. soldiers, they'd at least have a bargaining chip, someone that they could trade for him.
And then it just so
happens that not only do they capture a U-2 spy plane pilot, but also in East Berlin, young student who was actually, I believe he lived in West Berlin, but for some reason he was over there visiting his girlfriend when they're, literally when they're putting up the Berlin Wall. So he gets trapped in East Berlin and captured. Yeah, it was a terrible idea. So when Tom Hanks' character finds out about this, he decides that because the government wants only, obviously, the spy plane pilot because he has government secrets, he decides that he's not going to leave without being able to take both of them for trading just Rudolph back. So it's a pretty interesting movie, and the kind of intricacies with how Tom Hanks, it kind of gambles a bit with some of the things that he does, but at the same time, it's almost like a high-stakes poker game with a very good political drama mixed into it as well.
I think this is a very entertaining look at, I'm sure, a story everyone remembers from history class, the one day that the Cold War almost became the not-so-Cold War. And this is a really interesting look at the, inner workings of such things. Of course, based on true events. Not exactly positive the accuracy of everything here, but I'm sure it looked pretty spot on. But I love these. I love it when these historical kind of things, are done like this, but are at least done in a brisk, entertaining way. And you can pretty much thank Steven Spielberg for that.
And finally, it feels like a great Steven Spielberg film once again.
Feels like a classic Spielberg film,
That's what I mean. He's returned to be true to form. It's perfect. I honestly think this is the best film of the year.
Yeah, you did nominate it for best film of the year, right? Yeah. I wouldn't put it that high.
Well, not me personally, but it's definitely nominated for best picture of the year.
Yeah, it is. But it was your pick.
It was my pick.
On our predictions. I liked it a lot too after a second viewing. It does come off a little bit dull, but I think that was definitely a mistake on my first viewing, because don't expect them, Saving Private Ryan or any of Spielberg's more. This is definitely what makes Spielberg is he does his range, right?
It's a political drama, not a war film.
Yeah, it has more in common with what was that war film he did about the bombing Syria? Was that him? I can't remember. Anywho, I like to see
Syria George Clooney. I don't remember. I don't know.
I can't remember either. But I like to see Spielberg do stuff that's a little bit different like this. What is the friggin' movie I'm thinking of? Munich. Syria.
Okay. Yep.
Syria was with Clooney. You're right.
Munich had a lot more action.
Yeah, of course. But it was, man, he does do a wide range of shit. Holy crap. But this is, I like this a lot better than his last two efforts that I've seen, Lincoln and Warhorse.
Yeah.
which were both of those were I don't even know.
He seems to be stuck in this path of doing these historical pieces, but he finally actually nailed a good one because, like you said, you're right. Lincoln, unfortunately, disappointed, as well as Warhorse as well. But this one, I think he knocks it out of the park. I mean, the performances are great, and it's weird to say that in this movie with Tom Hanks, who I do feel is actually doing a great job in this, is not the best actor in this film.
Yeah, I think
or at least doesn't give the best performance.
The supposed Russian is my favorite performance, I think.
Yeah, Mark Rylance.
Yeah,
I hope I said the last name right there.
Mm-hmm. What's his character's name? Rudolph Abel, of course.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this Mark Rylance in a whole lot of stuff, even though he's been active for a long, long time. I guess he comes from television and theater mainly. Oh yeah, theater. He's got buttloads of theater experience. That makes more sense. Shakespeare-like work, and yeah, you can tell. And he plays the supposed Russian spy, which they really pull you along when they're feeding you information about whether or not he really is what he says he is, right? I enjoyed that part as well.
Oh no, he was definitely a Russian spy. I mean, they show him with
yeah.
They had that beautiful opening scene where they show him with the coin when he's supposed to open. And the best part is, I was actually just reading an article, I think it was on crack.com, about how someone actually got caught because when they used to send the microfilm in the coins, I guess one Soviet spy must have forgotten that it was this coin somehow. I don't know how you would possibly forget that, but they paid their paperboy with it. So that when the paperboy looked at it and kind of realized it looked funny, he ended up cracking it open, and I think it was his parents reported it to the government.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I thought of when I seen that. I was like, is he going to give this to a paperboy? Because that is awesome.
That would be interesting. Yeah, no, he's for sure what they say he is, but like the depth of what he knows exactly, why he was in the States, all that kind of stuff. They don't exactly display that at first, and I like that part a lot because you're thinking like, just how bad is this guy? And of course that plays with he even says, he's like, your country has people doing this kind of work in my country, and if they get caught, wouldn't you like them to be treated well? And lo and behold, a U2 plane gets shot down, and an American gets incarcerated, and of course, sentence like that. Yeah, I think this is a very awesome historical drama.
Well, not to mention, kind of like Trumbo, it shows the fact of the assumptions that were made during the Cold War. You know what I mean, as far as the communists and democracy were concerned. You know what I mean. A lot of people seem to have these illusions about what communism is, as opposed to what the Soviet army was, right? So
yeah, it's a fun reminder of just how crazy the world got for a few decades there during the Cold War, and because
they wanted to kill him, like right off the hop. They just wanted to kill him. They had no idea why he was there, but they knew he wasn't going to talk. He wasn't going to help them.
So kill him.
And that's what Tom Hanks said. He goes, he was studied by his country, but I mean, he's a good soldier. There's no reason.
Yeah, and that's Tom's character in a nutshell. He gets reluctantly assigned to this at first because he knows it's a thankless job defending a Russian spy during the Cold War. Are you kidding me? But then he realizes, hey, they're just gonna kill this guy. Why we can't just kill this guy? And then he gets, he's not even interested in whether or not he's a spy. What he knows, he doesn't care. He's a very honorable man. I guess would be the right way to put it.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting story. I mean, Steven Spielberg does a great job in this historical piece of adding a little bit of intrigue to it, whereas Lincoln kind of seemed to drag on, being a little bit dull, and really same with Warhorse as well. Mm-hmm. So it's great to see him returning to this. I really think that he knocked it out of the park with this one, like I said earlier. And I mean, performance-wise, Mark Rylance is amazing. Tom Hanks definitely does a great job. It's not the best of his career by far, but still, fantastic job by him. I mean, everybody else in the supporting cast really does a really good job. There's not anybody that I would point out and say, like, this guy wasn't very good, or
There's
this guy.
There's no one that stuck out to me. No, I even liked Even the kid who played his son, I thought was appropriate given the circumstance. And I love seeing all those old PSA commercials and stuff for what to do during a nuclear bomb, like duck and cover. Reminded me of Fallout and shit like that. Like, yeah, it was awesome. Like I said, a fun reminder how crazy the world got.
Now, one of the best parts, in my opinion, with Bridge of Spies 2 is the fact that the cinematography in this it's extremely subtle. Same with a lot of like the framing and the camera work, especially some of the movement that they do. Mainly focus with the dialogue when they're having the conversation between the CIA agent and Tom Hanks, the first encounter that they have.
Yeah,
they do this really really gorgeous scene where they just do these nice closing in shots on an angle from as if they were doing the over the shoulder shot right when they're doing the dialogue. So it starts closing in, pulling in on each character as they're speaking. The way they did that, and it was beautifully done. And there's a lot of subtlety to this that really
subtle.
Gives it that finesse that, in my opinion, makes it the best picture.
Mm-hmm. I'll agree with you there. The filmmaking here is really subtle is a good word for it. There's nothing too extravagant, of course. There's no crazy action scenes. There is, of course, the U-2 plane getting shot down, which is pretty cool. But everything is just done in a more more subtle, impactful way for how a drama has to be done. I love there is some like the big scenes, especially in the beginning, with all those reporters just like taking pictures over and over again, and tons of extras. I'm like, yeah, I love to see this attention to detail.
Yeah, with the light bulbs on the ground. Yeah,
that was cool.
Or the flash bulbs. And
then, of course, when they go over to Europe, I like that transition to just how hard life really was over there and how fucked up things were. They were building a giant wall, for fuck's sakes. It was crazy. Yeah, I like this movie a lot.
Yeah, there's really nothing about it that isn't good. There's no kind of down parts of the movie. Like, it's never slow at any parts. It seems to flow well. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I mean, it's definitely, in my opinion, one of Spielberg's best.
I think it's one of his best in a long time, that's for sure. I haven't. I've had problems with a lot of his work in the last decade or so. Though I thought I might be crazy. Adventures of Tintin was fucking awesome.
I disagree with you there, but sure.
But the rest of 10 years, Kingdom of Crystal Skull, I don't know, War of the World, so. But you're right. This is a return to form in the political drama. You took a very interesting story and presented it very in a human way. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, I honestly think that a lot of people will. It really is an intriguing story. It's, in my opinion, it holds your attention far better than a lot of the other nominees for Best Picture this year, including The Martian or The Revenant.
Mm-hmm. It's a prime candidate to be shown in history class in the decades to come as well. This is one of those movies that if it got put on in high school history class, you'd be like, yes, you know what I'm saying? That's a nerdy thing to say, but hey, I enjoy when history is done right.
And for a large part of it, too, I mean, at least in the first act, it's a courtroom drama. So, I mean, even the way that Spielberg shoots that is beautifully done. This is one of those ones where automatically, the second I saw it, I was kind of like, not only did I kind of push it on top for thinking that it might be Best Picture, but I really think that it's almost a throwback to how dramas used to really be shot. I mean, it was all very solid. It wasn't anybody falling into shaky cameras. It wasn't. You know what I mean?
You don't need any flash or CGI or none of that shit. And this, you can definitely tell that this is all 90% of this is practical. Only a $40 million budget, which is impressive to do a period piece. But as terms of production design,
it really shows. It shows like how elite Steven Spielberg is as far as
he's the man.
Especially compared to things like Lincoln or War Horse or Tintin or Polar Express. Or there was that Spielberg?
Polar Express? I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't know. He probably produced it, but who knows?
He has 160 producer credits.
Jesus.
So yeah, Spielberg's been around for a bit.
But you know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is really, realistically, if you're a fan of his stuff like Schindler's List and some of the more serious pieces, this is definitely something that you're going to enjoy.
This is more in common with Schindler's List, yeah. For sure.
I think it's going to go down as one of the better Cold War films as well, too.
Yeah.
I do think that it's going to go down like that as well, especially with how top-notch the acting is, top to bottom. And every scene is well thought out, well planned. Everything, it looks beautiful the way that they deal with the lighting and everything. This is this year's Grand Budapest Hotel.
I don't know if I'd say it's that good for me, but it is certainly excellent and surprisingly good once you give it the old college track.
I just mean for how far above it is the rest of the nominees, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean when you put it up against what it's up against this year, just I don't know. Things seem to be in a category all their own, right? This is definitely probably the best drama of the year. I liked Room a lot too. That was a sleeper hit, and of course Mad Max is just glorious filmmaking on a different scale. Yeah, this is the best historical drama I've seen in a couple of years, probably. I'd go to say I can't, off the top of my head, think of a better one in recent memory, and that's saying something.
Room was my sleeper hit until I saw this.
Mm-hmm. I'm still enjoy is the wrong word because Room's hella sad, but Room impressed the hell out of me this year, and I had no idea. It came out of nowhere for me. Bridge of Spies I certainly would have caught somewhere along the line just because it's Spielberg and Hanks, and Spielberg and Hanks have worked together so many times. We all know that they work really well together. And they do.
See, I went into it not expecting much because I thought, the last couple of Steven Spielberg movies haven't really been all that great. It's not like he doesn't get top-notch actors. I mean, they're always still decent, but they're never, what they used to. With this, I feel this one kind of flew under the radar as far as when it was in theaters.
I think what helped is really sharp writing, and that, of course, goes to the Coen brothers, right?
Yeah. I was surprised to see their names when I saw the end of with the credits. Right? I was like, oh, okay.
I don't know how much,
got serious with it.
No kidding. Like, bring in the big guns.
Like you said, and you chose to direct the Hail Caesar one. Yeah. Okay.
That's weird.
All right, Joel, which script do you want to shoot ourselves? Well, Bridge of Spies, but Spielberg has been talking about that one like he wants to do it. I'd rather do Hail Caesar anyways.
I'd love to work with Steven Spielberg. Yeah, but we really want to do this. I don't know. Hail Caesar's not bad either, but it's just weird. And this is clearly a better overall package of a film, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, the Coen brothers, I love their writing so much, man. They're sharp fucking writers. And this is the first thing they've done in a while they've only written and didn't have a hand in directing themselves. So they usually do their own. They do their Tarantino style thing, right? They write, they direct, they produce.
Well, it's not like they didn't kill it when they did No Country for Old Men, which is a little more of a serious picture.
Oh yeah, but yeah, and of course that's adapted off a book as well. And this is I'm not sure if this is adapted from an actual novel or just, of course, the actual historical events. But either way, it's a fucking awesome script.
Like every historical movie, I'm sure there's different inaccuracies, but that's bound to happen. I mean, people have got to spice up a story, right?
Yeah, of course. And it is, it is the Cold War. Remember, nothing actually happened. It was everything just almost happened, right? And that's what made the Cold War such a bizarre time in Earth's history. And yeah, this is a very interesting take on the events that almost led to the Cold War becoming real goddamn hot. So this was before the wall too. Yeah.
Well, a lot of it too is Tom Hanks as James Donovan wanting to show the Soviets, or at least this Soviet, the character of the U.S. by showing them that this isn't what they do. They're not just gonna, basically give him a fake trial and then send him off to his death, which is what they tried to do. But
yeah,
anyways,
it's
through his efforts that he ends up getting both of the people back as well. So
it works out to their favor. Diplomacy wins the day, and he in a way prevents it from becoming a much bigger conflict, right? So
And some of the stuff that it shows, as far as the kind of what would you call it, the underhandedness of some of the politicians, or at least the political parties, what they were doing when he was trying to negotiate with them and stuff.
oh yeah,
The way that they portray that, it was pretty well done as well. And it's like I said, I mean, really all I have to say about it is it's incredibly intriguing, definitely a must see film. Honestly, I think it's the best picture of the year by a large bound, or by a large step, sorry. And I don't know. Other than that, I mean, when it comes down to a rating, I'm 100% giving this a 10 out of 10.
wow, 10 out of 10, impressive. I liked it as well. I'm glad that I've watched it a couple times and appreciated the really sharp rating and really elegant. I guess elegant's the right word for filmmaking, camera work. I love period pieces when they pull it off. I like this movie a lot too. Not quite that high for me. I'm gonna give it a 9 for sure though, because I think it's definitely a surprise of the year too. And I'd say in my top 3. I would probably put it in my top 3. I guess in no particular order I'd say Mad Max, Room, and this would be my 3 favorite of the nominees.
See, I'd say Bridge of Spies, Room, and Mad Max.
Yeah, that's what I said. Just in a different order.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are my 3 must-see of the year, for sure. Yeah, anything else you want to touch on? Bridge of Spies?
No, I think that about covers it all. Like I said, must-see, 100%. Steven Spielberg, true to form.
Excellent Cold War film. There's not a whole lot of these.
Coen brothers, amazing writing.
Coen brothers, always on point. Yeah, I liked it a lot. 9 from me, a 10 from Big Nasty Productions. Thank you for tuning in to our Bridge of Spies review, and we will see you at the Oscars and see how right we were this year. And next episode will probably be the Mad Max Revisited. A year later, is it still a perfect film? Spoiler alert, yes. See you all next time.